what is a bit worrying is that the main areas that will get flooded after this event are on the left bank, Ukraine, meaning the area of the Dnipro River, which is currently under the control of the Russian army. So it is mainly on the Russian authorities, the Russian army, to try to evacuate people, warn people, and so on. Judging by what we have seen so far in this war, we don't have many reasons to believe that the Russian authorities are very concerned about minimizing the risk to the lives of people in Ukraine. Therefore, we might assume that they won't put a lot of effort into evacuating people from that area. So unfortunately, it seems that it is up to the people themselves to try to save themselves from this water that is flowing towards them. Now, if we look at the strategic reasons for why you conduct such operations as the Red Army did when they blew up the Zaporizhia Dam in 1941 on August 18th, or as the Russian army did with the Novakakhovka Dam today on June 6th, 2023. It is simply so that on one side of the river you have the enemy forces that are either advancing or preparing for an advance. In the last 2-3 days, it has been clear that the Ukrainian army has been intensifying its artillery shelling of various positions along the front lines. They have also conducted more and more attacks with cruise missiles, such as the excellent Storm Shadow cruise missiles that have been donated by the British Army, striking far behind enemy lines, often 100 or 150 kilometers or so, hitting strategic arms depots, fuel depots, and any other infrastructure or machinery that can be used by the Russians in trying to hold back the Ukrainian army as the counteroffensive starts. Naturally, there is a so-called OPSEC that you should keep operational security, and by not discussing live what is happening, but as this will reach the public in a few days, it is clear that we might already admit that yesterday and the day before yesterday there were significant Ukrainian offensive operations in the Zaporizhia area. A couple of villages were taken. Around Bakhmut, there was also between 200 to 700 meters that were taken on one flank of the city, and between 600 meters and 1.5 kilometers taken on the other flank of the city. The Deputy Defense Minister of Ukraine, Hanna Maliar, has stated that the Ukrainian army has simply gone on the offensive, and they are advancing now. So it is clear for the Russians that this was the last moment for them to try to widen the Dnipro River as much as possible in order to minimize the threat from the troops that you had, the Ukrainian troops that you had that were on the other side of the Dnipro River in the area of Kherson city, which is right next to the Black Sea. If we look at the specifics of the Dnipro River, they haven't changed much since 1941, when the Red Army blew up technically it was the NKVD, the secret police, and the two functionaries, Boris Episov and Alexander Petrovsky, who put 20 tons of explosives inside the dam walls and blew them up. As we mentioned in a previous episode, exactly how the Novakakhovka Dam was blown up this time is at this point unknown, or whether it was blown up or whether simply they closed the dam gates and allowed it to overflow, and thus weakening the structure. But the result is nevertheless the same. On the Dnipro River, you have a very wide section of the river that is, until it reaches the Novakakhovka Dam, it's 150, 200 meters wide. At points, it's even wider, 700-800 meters. At such points, it's practically impossible to cross it. So, for example, we have heard a lot about the Zaporizhia nuclear power plant during
Indeed.
this conflict. And it is located behind this very wide section reservoir of the Dnipro River, making it practically impossible to cross from the other side. However, once you reach to the small town of Nova Kakhovka, and where the Nova Kakhovka Dam is located, where the dam gates were located, suddenly downstream from the dam, the Dnipro River becomes much more narrow, and it is a place where you could say it splits up into many small rivers just before reaching the Black Sea. But if you blow up the dam, then all of these rivers practically turn into one river, and the area gets as wide as it is further upstreams. And therefore, this little, even though it could be considered to be a bottleneck, it's a quite small area through which the Ukrainian troops could advance into the Kherson region. Now, I won't say it has been made impossible, because the Ukrainian army has surprised us on many occasions throughout this war, but certainly crossing the river in that area has become much more difficult now.
Adam, the clock in the corner of the room is winking at me, so I'm afraid we must pause there, but we'll pick it up next time. I've had to interrupt Adam almost in mid-sentence, but fear not. If you join us next time, as we hope you will, we'll continue the story here on Poland Daily History. In the meantime, thank you for watching.